Goes on and on.
Yeah, no, this is our blessing right here. Why we started Momentum Builder, why we uh, aligned with Todd Duncan and Sales Mastery is this is really why we did it. There's it's not a money grab in any way, shape, or form. Todd could attest to that. He knows how hard these events and these communities are, and Josh too. But it's really about building an amazing community of individuals and professionals and reaching out and impacting lives positively, professionally and personally. And a lot, you guys have been a great part of that. And it's funny, we're 7 years into Momentum Builder, and we feel like it's just getting started. Like, it's a startup company. It takes a little while to get the wheels going, get the people in place, to get the vision in place, and then the action items in place. And it's really come together. I mean, we just spent 2 days with Craig Davis, our business coach and chief strategy officer for Momentum Builder, for 2 straight days, just doing planning on how to take it to the next level. And all of us, because we're all pros here, know how important that is. Nice hat, Josh. Woohoo, he's
Yeah.
representing. And it was really cool because when you put in that plan, it's exciting. And I know you know that. And Todd, I'm preaching to the choir concerning you've been my mentor for, close to 30 years now. It's really cool to put a plan together and have an action plan of where you can go. And now we're more excited than ever about where Momentum Builder's going, where Sales Mash going. This event is going to be off the charts. I'll let Todd talk a little bit about that when he can. Because what's really nice is Todd could show up in October and say, I'm here. You purchased Sales Mastery and I'm here. But man, I literally talk to Todd almost every single day or text or something. He's in and super exciting. So that's my opening pitch. But thank you for being part of our 100th anniversary episode. Very cool.
Yeah, and as I was thinking about it, Don, basically what you were alluding to with the fact that we're a maturing startup, I guess, for lack of a better term, is that we've made all the mistakes we need to make.
Ah,
That's
you'll make more. We'll make
Oh,
more.
yeah, we will.
No problem.
We're good at it.
Mistakes are a gift.
Yeah, it's optimism, right? That means we learned a lot over the last few years, and the fact that we're on this 100th episode with our friends here, that just says a lot, and we just appreciate everybody helping us get to here, and we continue to grow and continue to get better every day, and we need this, right? I mean, when you have something like this in the face of adversity, like our industry is going through right now, I think you give people hope. You give people a place of community. You give people a place where they can come when they're not feeling great. Resources, coaching, tips, tricks. You never know who you're going to help just on a random Thursday at 11 a.m. So appreciate the time that all of you have spent joining us for part of these 100 episodes and making sure that we help people and that we're somehow impacting people's lives at least once a week. And I could tell you lots of times, it's like, should we do these? Should we not do these? Should we keep doing these? Should we add these? Should we go twice a week? Should we never do them? Should we go twice a month? Like all those questions are asked. And I've always been steadfast in the thing that we have to toe the line. It is the basis of how we get together every week to make sure that we have community. And so we are. And I pull Sonia along with me all the time. And I think it was
Poor
like
Sonia.
17 weeks ago or 14 weeks ago, I said, it'd be really cool if we had 100 tips, one from each episode that we did. And she's like, you're kidding, right? And I'm like, no, we have 100 recordings. Like, let's figure it out. Let's go to 100 recordings and pick up one tip from every recording. And she's like, who's going to do that? And I don't know who did it, but I have it in my inbox and it actually happened. So thank you, Sonia. Appreciate that. We'll be dripping those out today. I plan reading a few of these today as we go through the day.
No doubt. So I'll give Todd some time in a little bit, but I want to make sure that those of you that need to split early, I'd love to get your input about being part of community, what you see moving forward, and your excitement for sales mastery and all that. And we'll start with Dale, because I know you have a short window today, and thank you for giving the heads up on that. How things going, Dale?
Going great. You know what? This is a very opportunistic market. And as I say all the time, markets don't dictate success. What dictates success is your beliefs and your behaviors. And the beauty of what you guys do at Sales Mastery and Momentum Builder is I mean, look at this room. This is like wisdom times 10,000. Just in the people that we can see that are on here. You know, if you're an originator and you're watching this today, I'm just going to tell you, tap into the brains of these people. This is a marketplace where if you do what the best do, you're going to get what the best get. The old saying, if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got, is not true, because in a changing market, you're going to get less than you've ever got. But if you do what the best do, you're going to get what the best get. And that's the benefit of working with Don and Gino and the team and learning from them. And I would certainly encourage that. And here's the one tip that I'll say today. Okay. Quit focusing on your monthly results. Start focusing on your daily activities and actions and your attitudes. That's what makes the difference. If you do the right things day in and day out, good things will happen. Your numbers will be there. Our problem today in the market is not inventory. It's our networks aren't big enough. And our problem isn't a lack of customers. It's the lack of not calling our customers. Do those two things, you win all the time. And you've got 1,000 experts that you can learn from through this group right here that'll help you to do that. So it's an honor to be here. I did not want to miss an opportunity to congratulate you guys on 100 episodes. That is awesome. And I didn't want to get miss a chance to hang out with these great people that I'm here with today. So great to be with all of you.
Wow. Mic drop. So nice seeing you all. That's the end of our show. Man, that was awesome. I couldn't have said it any better. And that's why I had you say it, Dale.
Oh, you're way too kind.
No, it was awesome. I know Todd's like, this is great, because this is why you guys are all on here. Hey, Jeff, thanks for joining us, buddy. This is just a start, because you can see how excited we get to see each other, and how it warms our hearts, and how it motivates us, and how we know we're impacting others in a positive way. Imagine as we continue to do this more and more together as a group, and what we're going to do for our industry. Because like Gino said, without a doubt, and I've been this almost 40 years, I think this community and all of us coming together is needed more than ever, because it's been a rough 3 years. I mean, we've all gone through the 2 years here, half a year here, but this has been a rough 3 years, and we've all gotten beat up pretty well. And I love what you started with, Dale. This is an opportunistic market. This is where the cream rises to the top, and where we really take advantage and crush it, because what, 2/3 of our competition is gone. Probably after this last 2 weeks, another 25% have left, because everybody kept waiting for rates to get better, and they got worse. So I'm looking at it as like, well, there's more of the bottom feeders. They're gone. So I think that it's a very opportunistic time. So thank you, Dale, for your input. That was beautiful, dude. I appreciate it, and stay on as long as you can. And
I got to head, but love y'all. Appreciate y'all, and great to be here. Thanks for having me.
thanks,
Well,
buddy.
Brother,
Don, this is another testament, though. This is what gets me excited. When what Dale just said, and Gino alluded to it as well. You look at the people in this room, and they continue to show up. There's a reason that I have the acronym SHRED: show up, hustle, repeat every day, because people showed up today. Gino said this, it's a Thursday at 11 o'clock. And look at the caliber of people that have showed up to be here on this call, to be present. That speaks so much to what Sales Mastery Momentum Builder has built leading up to this incredible event. It's going to change lives. It's going to impact people forever. And that's what's exciting about this, is because there's so many people involved that are excited to be doing this. It's not just another event. It's something that is truly, honestly going to change everybody's life involved. And that's what I'm freaking excited for.
I wish you had some excitement, Josh. This is the first time I've ever seen that. Oh my goodness. Hey, everybody smile. I'm going to get a picture of this with this core crew. Boom. Thank you. Very cool. Thank you, Josh. And Josh has been an integral part of the push, because those of you, everybody here is a professional. They're all trying to impact and help others. Everyone on this call, which is really exciting that you're here today, and you know how hard it is. So helping each other it won't happen otherwise. Gino and I would have closed this out, especially the last 3 years. It's been very difficult to put on the events and put things together and bring community together, because it's been so difficult. And it's all of you that motivated us to stay the course. And now we're super excited that we have even more guidance, inspiration, and help to take it to the next level, because our partner has done this for 33 years, but 30 years in the event space. And Todd, I want to give you a little bit of the floor, because you've inspired Gina and I to take it to the next level.
Okay, well, super grateful to be planted in the middle of all these geniacs and brain cells and whatnot. It's so fun to look back on when I first met many of you. Some of that extends past 20, 25 years ago, and it's an honor to be in a spot right now where I get two friends who kind of grew up in the high trust economy with the academy and sales mastery, and two guys that decided that they had had enough of doing business the wrong way and wanted to do it the right way. And so we oftentimes talk about destiny, timing, kind of the universe aligning, all that kind of stuff. And when we decided to just high five sales mastery number 30 in 2022, we did intend to take a year off, and then we were intending to bring it back in 24. And then the market just didn't cooperate. I didn't want to take the risk, and so it just morphed into this beautiful conversation, starting 2 years ago, and then in San Diego when we were down there together having another conversation, then another conversation. And I looked at Don and Gino. I said, "What if we just put these two things together, and why don't we create the hybrid event of the industry historically? Like nothing like this has ever been done, where you take the top event, and then you take the second best event, and you put them both together to create this like supercharged brand, right?" And so that's what we're doing. I think it's interesting what Dale said, because I wrote down that that no matter what the market presents to you, there's always opportunity. There's always opportunity to generate business in whatever market we find ourselves in. And I put in the post to everybody, what got us to where we are, and this is true forever. What got us to where we are is not going to be enough to keep us where we are, and we don't want to ever stagnate. So when we put mastery and momentum builder together, it's like, let's create this supercharged event. Let's have the first year's theme be beyond boundaries. And let's commit to, in every area of business and life, changing the thinking of everybody that attends to go beyond where you think your limits are. And how do we do that? And how do we do that in health? And how do we do that in wealth? And how do we do that in sales? And how do we do that in relationship? And how do we do that with partners? And how do we do that as leaders? And this theme, I always get excited about creating the themes, but when we came up with this, it was like, bam, the timing for this theme, these two words, was absolutely epic. So I'm jacked up that I get to watch the legacy continue. I'm really excited because one of the decisions we made was to amplify you guys. And the idea that Sales Mastery's got this great brand traction for 30 years, and Momentum Builder has their great brand attraction. And let's amplify the people, the professionals, and let's let them play a role in making this first event of the new brand just rock. Like I told Don and Gino, by the middle of August, I want on the website sold out. And that's my vision. My vision is that we sell this event out, and that's a testimony to how big we want this to be. And just beyond boundaries, you want to talk about an illustration where Don, Gino, and I, along with all of you, along with Think Tank, along with all that, we decided that we want the Sales Mastery Momentum Builder brand to have an audience of 10,000 people in some year in the future. And the reason why we can say that pretty intentionally is we're opening the door to the entire housing industry. And when you think about how many people are in the entire housing industry, and that mastery and momentum builder can come together and just pour ideas on them and do it in a way that just the community then is just so big. So we're just getting warmed up, right, Don? Right? I'm just getting warmed up. But I will say, I had a hard time driving yesterday because I was on a call with these dudes, and we were doing some prep time. And Gino, you may not have gotten this yet, but so that everybody knows, early stage will be the first event in the history of events, and I think in the history of events in this business for sure, where between 3 and 5 minutes after a session ends at mastery, you will have the AI generated digital implementation plan to that session. No more walking out with a workbook with 37 ideas to do, right? We are going to take our technology play and we're going to install it in Sales Mastery and Momentum Builder. And every single session will have a digital implementation playbook on your phone within 3 to 5 minutes of the session ending. There we go.
Boom.
We need some emojis on that.
Yeah.
Now you know how to implement it, and here's your guide, and here's how we're going to make this happen. And the other goal is, the minute you leave Sales Mastery powered by Momentum Builder, we start a 365-day journey where we're impacting you every single day so that you're automatically in for the next year and the year after and the year after. So we've completely blown apart the idea that you leave the event high, you leave the event on fire, you have all the passion to do the stuff and see you next year. That's not how we're going to do it. We're going to see you tomorrow. And then we're going to see you tomorrow. And then we're going to see you tomorrow. And we're just gonna put the guardrails on this, the laser beam on this, and we're gonna help everybody just transform their life. So I could keep going, but when you wake up at 4 a.m. thinking about the event and you get up and start is jamming, you know that it's gonna be fun. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had talked to Don about it and I was like, hey, are we still going to do that thing? Because, when you're brainstorming these ideas for these events, there's a billion ideas, but then some of them really remain like inside of you. And you're like, no, we have to do that one. That's super important. It's one of the
So Gino, I
stones.
tested this yesterday.
Yeah.
I ran a 17-minute video through the system, and in 2.5 minutes, I had the implementation digital playbook.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So actually, let's go from Todd to Todd. Todd,
Spin.
yeah. So Todd, you could relate to that, right? If we could drop those things into people's inbox every morning and help them every morning win by noon, how good would that be?
Well, I mean, absolutely. First off, congrats on 100 episodes. I couldn't miss
Yes.
jumping on and talking about that and just really how excited I am for Sales Mastery to be back, right? I mean, truly, when I look back on my successes in the mortgage business and I look at the top, 2 or 3 things that have impacted me over the years, Sales Mastery is at the top of that list and all that Todd has done. And so bringing you guys and your momentum builder brand into it is just off the chart. So super, super excited and, tons of congratulations to you guys for pulling it off. And I totally agree, right? I mean, an action plan is where people get stuck. We have a lot of people who, as Jim Rohn says, spend time looking at the roots and not taking advantage of the fruits. And so we've got to figure that out. And that's where Dale started us out. He really just said people have an action problem and an attitude problem every day. And so I think if we walk out of a session in a couple of minutes, have the steps, like that's huge. I mean, that's a great benefit. And, the idea of having an event with 10,000 people, I don't think I've ever been to an event that's got even half of that number of people. So I just love that vision that Todd just laid out and appreciate you guys doing it. And so blessed to be part of this community.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we're blessed by you, Todd.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah. So the question for the rest of you is we have between now and October, and we've got a lot of ground to cover, right? This industry has been stuck, and I see that as the shining light that's gonna keep us excited to keep moving between now and the end of the year. And I think you all have to figure out after we hear these 100 tips from 100 conversations that you guys have all had, is then you're gonna have to pick, the 1, 2, maybe 3, but I'd probably say 1 or 2 that you want to take action on, because ultimately in the end, we do have this great opportunity right now. I feel like the fact that we've got so few people left and most of the people left feel stuck because they're just overwhelmed with their lack of daily success. And I think if you do change that attitude and you really just wake up with this idea that, hey, I'm going to be world class today, and you have a definition of what that looks like, what those activities look like, then I know you'll all show up at Sales Mastery, and you will absolutely have success stories to share with the rest of us. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Really appreciate that. Welcome, Kai.
What is up?
Yeah.
Let's try to be fashionably late.
You joined the playground.
Check that box, Kai. Congratulations. You achieved that
Exactly.
goal.
Welcome to the
I wasn't gonna miss it. I just had another half obligation with the LFG people. Our friends over there too. So
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we've been just kind of celebrating a little bit the 100th episode, celebrating the community, and we've known each other for an awfully long time, and almost everybody here has been impacted by Sales Mastery some way, like Don and I have, and so we're just kind of chit-chatting a little bit about how that looks and how we're looking forward to October.
1997 was the first sales master I went to in Tucson, Arizona, when I met Todd with Tim Brahim and the guys back then. There was 150 people in a small conference room at the time, Todd, and you were still the biggest thing in the industry and still holding strong.
Wow.
Well, it's the idea of the dream, the dream and doing something that hadn't ever been done, and looking back on my 12-year career doing loans, and it was like, what's next? And, I think up until the time we launched the Duncan Group, it was like I may have had a couple hundred realtors in a room speaking. I didn't grow up thinking I would speak. And then the natural transition was, what do I do next? The team is running well and everybody's happy and we've got a really great database and, we did well. And it was like my dad told me, he goes, influence. What do you want to do next? Influence. And so the vision of mastery was a gathering, and to have the likes of Baron O'Brien and Ron Burgum on the first stage at Sales Mastery, and having Greg Frost on the first stage at Sales Mastery, and having Robert Cialdini, the author of the book Influence, my first outside paid professional speaker. I remember how scared I was to sign a $5,000 contract to pay this guy to be on stage, and here we are. Right, here we are, and everything
And Baron
started.
O'Brien is in the audience.
Well, listen to this. I'm going to tell you a funny story about these guys. So Baron is in the audience, and he and Burgum are coming out, and they're coming out in a limousine to Palm Desert to speak at Sales Mastery 1992, the first one, right? And I've already talked. I've already interviewed them. We've talked about efficiency and assistance and this, that, and the other thing. And so they get on stage and we're talking about time blocking, talking about efficiency, and this stuff, 1992, if you can imagine, this is the stuff that's kind of getting laid down to this first audience. And the next week, and no, if you've been to anything I talk about, dollarize your time, right? Dollarize your time, dollarize your time. I get a bill from Baron for the limo. And I'm figuring, wow, this is weird. I thought they were just coming out to speak on the Sales Mastery stage. Then all of a sudden I get this joy because something I teach, it just happened to me, and I get an invoice for the limo, and I gladly paid it because those two dudes laid down some good tracks for everybody.
Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, Mickey, thank you for joining us. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the gathering here soon. In fact, everybody, just a reminder that the gathering is coming up, and so hopefully we'll see a bunch of you there. We're working really closely with Housing Wire. They did a great job of announcing Sales Mastery for us and the union of the two brands. And so just want to be able to hang out with as many of you as we possibly can while we're there. And for those that haven't signed up yet, there's a discount code there that Clayton was gracious enough to help us with. So, there you go. Beautiful. Thank you, Sonia, for that. Of course, I told Sonia 10 minutes ago that I needed that, and it's done.
That is Sonia.
All right. Well, cool. So, Mickey, you have any words to say? Anything you'd like to share?
Well, gosh, I remember the first time that I heard Todd speak, and it's the only time I've heard you speak in person, and it was at the Atlanta Mortgage Bankers Luncheon about 9 or 10 years ago. And we had a sold out event, and Todd didn't even have a microphone on. He just stood and talked and walked around the room. And at the end, no one wanted it to end. And we've been trying to get him back for years. So maybe I'll be president in 2 years. So maybe Todd, you can come back to Atlanta and sell out another event. We'd love to see you. I'm looking forward to the gathering also. And I'm going to be on a panel, and this is sort of a new thing for me. And I thank Sergino having me on earlier this year. But you were talking about tips and things a minute ago, and you're saying about the industry. One of my favorite quotes is from a coach. She was the coach of the North Carolina NC State women's basketball team. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she lived with it and still coached high-performing teams. Her name was Kay Yao. I don't know if y'all know who she is. I'm from the South, if you can't tell. But she had a saying that said, when life kicks you, let it kick you forward. And I think about that right now because the mortgage business, we've had our butts kicked for the last 3 years. And we've seen a lot of people leave our industry and quit this industry. But at the same time, we've seen people come into our industry and figure it out, and other people who figured out how to actually increase their sales. So, and I just think we have to find new ways forward, as you said, and whether that means investing in yourself and coaching and consistently prospecting, staying in touch with your past clients, learning a new product. I taught a class today to our sales team on the FHA 203K limited renovation program. It's been a long time since I've done one, but I'm licensed again and maybe doing one of those soon. So I just think about all the things we can still do to grow our business and things like leaning into AI. So I love being on a part of this community and more importantly, a part of the mortgage industry. And I've learned something from a lot of the people on this call. So look forward to more collaborations with everyone and seeing you all. And I will definitely see you in Dallas.
Awesome. Well, you said the magic two letters that have been running through my mind for the last 16 weeks. I've really dove deep into AI. I've been working really hard to make sure that I understand not only what it can do, but how we can use it, right? Implementation is everything. And Jeff, I'm going to call on you because you and I had a good chat regarding that just a few weeks ago. And I feel like we could do that once a month because things are changing so quickly. But it's really amazing the things, you know, I told somebody the other day, I said, the problem with some employees is they're so afraid that they're going to lose their jobs instead of creating the opportunity for themselves to do their jobs well and efficiently. And that's what I'm trying to get everybody's mindset into is like, this is the most amazing time consolidation tool I've ever seen in my life. Why wouldn't you use it for everything? Right? You are able to collapse timelines on things that would have taken hours, days, or weeks and get it done immediately at the snap of your fingers. And so that's what we're working on. And Jeff, I know that you and I are both nerding in that space.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. This is it's kind of surreal for me. We're all talking about our first exposure to Todd Duncan. So, quick story for me is speaking of Baron O'Brien, by the way, I interviewed with Baron O'Brien in Irvine, California, probably 2003, 2004. And his other sidekick at the time, Mike, I can't remember his name, but Baron, if you're still listening, you might remember who that is. But bottom line, I remember Todd when I first got started as a Countrywide Home Loans, and my branch manager at the time, Larica, gave me your set of the Sales Mastery CDs, DVDs, and they're on her shelf. Yeah, and they're on. That's how far we go back, right? They're on her shelf, and I'm like, "What are those?" And she explains, who you are and what they are. I'm like, "Well, why aren't they checked out? Like, why are they just sitting there? Like nobody's using it, right?" So I took that, man, and let me just tell you, I put all that kind of stuff to work, and it's really still kind of the foundation of what I help loan officers do today, which is accelerate their partner referrals and scale their reach. And today we're doing it, with some advanced ways, tech, AI, leveraging AI in a way to help loan officers create content, produce classes. My bottom line is this is what I'm all about in today's world. When I talk to a lot of loan officers, the common thread that I hear when I ask them, do you need more real estate agents? Do you need better real estate agents? Or do you need a more effective approach to engaging and attracting those real estate agents? And the answer is all three, right? And so if you guys know me, I'm all about one to many, right? Today, we're just not having enough conversations with the right people. We're not scaling our reach. We're not building our platform and our brand. And so that's kind of my, flag that I wave and go into the market and champion with. So bigger impact, bigger results, reaching more people at scale. I think that's the bottom line of how we're going to kind of move this needle forward in the current market that we're in.
Boom.
So, and by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to everybody I see here. There's a lot of my friends, mentors. I think I've interviewed about half the people on the screen here right now. So you guys have helped make my podcast a success. We just passed episode 375. So thank you so much.
We're just babies compared to you.
But you know what? We all follow somebody, right? We all follow somebody. Hey, Jeff, I just want to amplify for everybody how powerful what you just said is. And, you guys that know me well know that we trademarked this idea of the circle of cash flow. And what Jeff's talking about is the obvious choice today is if all of you, which I know you have, we've given up a long time ago to be a vendor, right? We've always believed that we would be a partner. And so when Barron put up Mike Moore's name, Mike passed away from cancer 2008, 2009, I believe, sometime around there. But one of the things he always asked his loan officers and always asked his real estate agents was, how can I help you win today? And when we started to think about our selling proposition in a market like we're in, imagine how many answers you're going to get with asking that one question. And one of the things that's interesting is when we profiled just shy of 27,000 loan officers, one of the things we asked is how, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, how good are you at engaging your referral partners weekly? And there was 3% of the entire 26,000 people that we surveyed that said they were a 5. I mean, a 10, and then the rest just went down from there. And so Jeff is saying something very, very important, that if we are one to many, then we have to add more value to the one to get to the many. I'm going to tell you a quick story, because June 9th, I leave for Australia, and I have 21 presentations in 28 days in Australia. And
That's a lot,
75,
mate.
pardon me?
That's a lot, mate.
I know, but here's the point. The point is that 17 of those presentations came from one person who knew the people that we needed to meet with when we were down there. And I'm not talking about meeting with a person. I'm talking about, 2,000 people, 1,000 people, an executive meeting with 25 people. The point is, if we did that today in America, in the mortgage business, and every borrower was engaged to become an attraction magnet for their universe and for the orbit that they're in, whether they're doctors or pilots or handyman, whomever it is, we would not be having the same challenges that we have today. And so, Jeff, I just high five, man. One to many is the way to freedom financially. It's the way to freedom from a pipeline standpoint. You never run out of business if you know the people that know the people. I'm a hot second away from scoring an interview with Deion Sanders, not because I know Deion, but because we knew somebody that helped him write the book, and we knew his agent, and I just went to those two guys. And so let's just keep that in mind. And part of how we're going to build mastery to selling out, and how we're going to build it to 10,000 people, is the people that come this year are going to find the people that come next year. And we're just going to keep doing that for 4 or 5 years, and we'll be at 10,000 people. It's going to be that's straightforward.
Absolutely
I love it. Hey,
Michelle,
welcome, Cindy.
hey, Cindy.
Yeah,
Hartman.
very cool. Hey, before we go too much further, and thank you, Todd. That's why I love having you on these calls. It's funny, I joke about it because Todd's now our business partner and friend. But every time Todd talks, actually any of you on this call, that's why you're on this call and why you're so dear to us. I take notes every time. Every time I learn something from you guys, every time I'm like, that's good stuff. That's good. And it motivates me and gives me inspiration, because then I know I have things to bring to my team. We have things to bring to our community and stuff. But I want to highlight somebody. There's two people that really three, including my business partner who put up with me to do Momentum Builder, because we share everything. And I'm like, hey, I got this idea thanks to somebody that's on this call. So a lot of people go, where did Momentum Builder start, and why did you guys do it? And the guy that's sitting right in the middle there, Mr. Donnie, was the start of it. He was kind of more, a lot of people have coaches, and Todd's coached me building. I go down the list of some amazing coaches, but Donnie was a unique coach because he became like kind of a business coach at the time. And it's funny, he's like he's helping out some of our team members, LOs and stuff. And he's talking to me, and he's like, dude, I don't even know I can't teach you anything about mortgage that you don't already know. So how can I help you business wise? What do you want in the future, and what do you want for your legacy after 40 years in the industry? I'm like, that's a really good question. Well, I always wanted to provide a resource for our industry that I was given that changed me from quitting the business to succeeding in the business, which was ironically was being introduced to Todd Duncan and Sales Mastery, and the people that were involved with Sales Mastery changed my life and career. And I go, I want to provide that to our industry so that they have these resources and they don't have, and they get shortcuts. Like, here's the best coaches, here's the best tech, here's the community, here's what you need to do, and help each other. And that's where it started 7 years ago. So, Donnie, what do you think of where we've come since the beginning of Momentum Builder? And we even have one of our first speakers, Ethan Bude, on this call, which started at the Burbank Airport Hotel.
Love it. Well, I mean, Gino, I'm like wired, and I would come unplugged if I grabbed this beautiful award back here. This
Oh, yeah.
one that listen. I've won awards. That's like one of only two that I actually keep around because it means a lot to me. Don, I love watching someone. First off, the way that we impact the world is getting out of the world of information and into the world of transformation, and especially right now with AI. Like everything that was given to the people with the knowledge is now given to the people who have the questions. Those are the people with a big advantage, right? But Don, your strike zone, and I say you, this is you with Gino, because you guys are like left brain, right brain. Like
True.
you need.
Well, we need both of those because we don't have one to get of our own.
It's interesting because I always saw the experience maker, right? If we want someone to own information and to be transformed by it, we've got to welcome them into an experience. And that's what Momentum Builder has been about from the beginning. But dude, it's like going into the place where it is now married and in one with sales mastery, where the teacher and the pupil become one. It's just like, come on, man. This is the funnest thing to watch. I've got the popcorn and I'm just watching what you guys are doing, man.
Thank you,
I gotta
Donnie,
tell
and
you,
thank you for your
Donnie,
inspiration. Look at that. Oh my.
oh my,
Oh, good job,
Sonia.
Sonia.
Sonia hated putting together those boxes. I
I
can't
know.
tell you how much she hated. By the way, I want you guys to know that Sonia quits multiple times a year when we ask her to do things. And that box right there, those boxes was one of those moments. She was like, I am never doing this again. I quit. So,
Oh yeah, we had a. She's like, I can't find those anywhere. She goes, but I'll build them. And then about halfway through building, she goes, this sucks because we had people actually come up on stage and we asked them to hold as many of those boxes as possible. And the idea was that you can't hold it all. You have to basically choose what options you're going to do because that was the problem I learned from Todd. Is I go to his event and I'm an avid note taker. I have more energy than a freaking 16-year-old. I'm ready to go. But the problem I learned is I tried to implement 21 things and didn't implement any of them. So I learned that I had to choose one or two things from each event and implement those and then go on to the next. So that was the idea of the boxes is trying to hold them all. You can't. You got to choose which ones you're going to do and stuff. So poor Sonia. I mean, without Sonia, this would not have happened. And she's behind the scenes every time, and she's a freaking rock star. We have Katrina now that's on the call. Hey, Katrina, she's on our team, and what I love is Katrina's on the team because she has a passion to help people and a passion for Momentum Builder and where we're going. She she wasn't getting paid. She basically said, I want in. I want to help. I want to be part of it. And now she's an integral part of our team because she helped us get here. So Katrina, thanks for being on the team.
Thank you for having me. I love being part of this community. It's a very special community.
No doubt. And
So
you're part of it. And like I said, you're like, how can I help? How can I just be there? It's been really cool to have people like that. I mean, Josh hasn't gotten dime one out of this, but he's been behind it since day one. Ethan, I want to say hi to you because you were one of our first speakers. I mean, the man who wrote the book about how to, you know, communicate
rehumanize
with
your
people.
business.
What's
Yeah.
that?
It's rehumanize your business. And I was thinking about that because as we lean towards the world of AI, we want to make sure, and Craig put it in the chat earlier because I keep saying AI plus human wins, right? It's not AI only. That will not win. Those that are relying solely on computers to do things, it's not going to happen. You have to take the computer to do all the things you wanted to do but didn't have enough time to so that you can do those things and make a greater impact. But thank you, Ethan, for joining us today. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, man, really, really appreciate you guys. Congratulations on what you've built. The folks on the call obviously are a testament to it, but so is the legacy of, 99 episodes before this one, the live events and all these other things. And I'm a big both and person, like so much, especially when you spend time on social media or like in kind of like hot take zones, wherever those are in your life. You hear a lot of like, it's all this, it's all this, it's all this, or this thing is dead, or that channel's dead, or that methodology is dead. And both and really is the way forward. And in this case, it's, I think about technology, whether it's mortgage. I spend a lot more time focused in the real estate community these days. But yeah, obviously, it's really hard to separate those two. In both cases, technology is about making people more consistent and more efficient in what they're doing, period. I mean, it's almost cliche or trite to say, but I mean, these obviously remain relationship and referral-based businesses. We've already heard a number of stories about that just here on this call alone. And so both and is the way forward. What do we do less of? What do we do more of is how we find balance that, really works from a, both an operational standpoint and from an economic standpoint. And figuring that out day to day, week to week as markets change is obviously the key to success in any condition. And the last thing I'll say about what you all have built, and we'll just use the word that Katrina just used, which is community. The coolest thing about a community like this is, we can worry about or wonder about the state of the market today, When are things going to open back up? When is volume going to pick back up? When am I going to, earn what I was earning 3 or 4 or 5 years ago? But on this call alone, you have people who've been through 4 or 5 unique specific events, or 6 or 8 of them. And so like context, learning, applying what we've learned in the past as a group together as unique individuals with unique perspectives and unique experiences together to get through what we're in today and to improve in ways that allow us to be better every day going forward is what it's about. So thanks for what you guys do. Thanks for including me. It's an absolute privilege. And yeah, thanks for
You've
having
improved
me
my
on the call.
bomb skills, to say the
Oh,
least. In fact,
look at that.
Look at that.
By the
look
way,
at
That is Momentum Builder 2, by the way.
yeah, that was sick, by the way. That was the last event before COVID. And I
Yeah.
can't tell you
Literally
how
2 days.
life-giving that was in hindsight to like hold on to that experience and that memory. And of course, those 2 wonderful women on the screen with me, like just the memory of that experience going into this like weird, especially like the peak COVID or like the first 6 months where it's like, what on earth is going on? And when are we going to like, I mean, obviously here I'm thinking about when can we go hang out with people together in person again, but like, I'll never forget that event, in part because of that.
Yeah, it was, by the way, that was the day that the event finished, was the day that the NBA shut down.
Totally.
Like that is literally what happened while we were at the event. It was like, oh my gosh. Look at Sonia. She says we were foot bumping people instead of shaking hands. Hey, look at these. We just had a couple more of our best friends join us. Bill Dallas, Dave Savage. Let's start with you, Bill.
Hi, boys.
Bill's been mentor, boss, and we probably gave him some of that gray hair he has, but
that's a true statement there.
You look at this call and just like our mentors, our teachers, our friends. Like, thank you guys for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
You guys are special, right? You
clarify
carved,
that, because we know that
you
already,
carved
Bill.
a spot in my heart over time. And I think, like Ethan was saying, and look, you've got people that love you, care about the mission of what you're trying to accomplish. And I think there's nothing better in life really than trying to make those things happen and trying to make people better at what they do, right? I think the other thing is people are searching for community in lots of ways, and we've lost it.
Yeah.
And I think in mortgage, one of the things that I've always loved about mortgage is the collegial nature of competing hard against people that are friends and competitors, and you don't want to lose that. And I think, whether I loved it, by the way. I thought you guys, even at Skyline or even before, and then at Finance of America, and now where you are, I mean, all of those, what we learn is, I think, powered by the people that we hang out with. I've always said this with my kids and everybody else: you're only as good as the people that you spend time with. And so when you look around, at 12 o'clock at night, you go, holy shit, what am I doing in New York City at secondary? I mean, you check your package at that point, right? So I think for you guys, it's just been, I'm blessed to be a part of the team and to know you in an intimate way. I think, probably, and maybe sometimes too intimate, but
we do know some stuff about each other.
But we do have stuff that we know we can't totally share. But it is good, you guys. I'm very proud of you and proud of what you guys have built. And Katrina, I love you. Sonia, you're the best. Katie, well, come on. Without these guys, right, nothing happens. We know that Don and Gino are basically fronts to nothing.
Ain't that the truth?
See,
Bill does know us. Bill does know us.
The real stuff happens behind the scenes with all of you. And Craig Davis, I think you've probably spent some time now. I know I saw that you guys go to Tahoe in some great spot. Don't invite me, which is like, what the hell, right? And
no, that's funny. The FOMO from people.
You come back like you came back from Mecca.
Yeah.
Right. You've learned great thoughts, which I thought, okay, then I'm going to join this call today just to see what the heck, what have we transitioned to something. But no, I appreciate you guys a lot and love you.
You know, a
Uh,
silly thing that came out of that bill yesterday was sometimes some of the things master of the obvious, but there are things that actually can help you with your having a difficult day. It was one of those things I said, just said it out loud for whatever reason. It's like, hey, the past is not the future. So let's not use the past as the future. And so let's just lean in that way and let's just stay leaning into the future and know that it's we just can't live in the past. Those days are gone. Forget it. Don't relate
Well,
every
and yeah, I think like you guys were saying, I think even in Good to Great, right? It's a genius of the and the tyranny of the or, right? The and is everything. I think mortgage people, we have a tendency. Look, I have been through 8 cycles, right? So I have seen interest rates at 20. I have been. I mean, I can remember when 7 was like, holy shit, it's a refi boom, right? So when you're thinking about where you are, the past is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And the problem with people, whether they're salespeople or just folks in general, is you have a tendency to get fixated on things that you can't control and the past that you created for yourself. And all you need to be focused on is really, where are you going? How are you going to get there? And surround yourself with people that can help you do that.
That's what
Bill,
this community is all about. Thank you, Bill. You hit the nail on the head. And Bill, we know a perfect example of this community and everybody, having a servant heart. That's been the start of it. Donnie can attest to that. Is a giver's mentality is who's going to be part of this community. It was imperative to who we put on stage versus just somebody who wants to be on stage. It has to be somebody who gives back. And it's a perfect segue to somebody who's given more to this industry than right there with Todd and Bill and some of you is Mr. Dave Savage himself, my bro. We've gone through what, 2 decades of this together, bro?
I think it's more like 3, but
3, yeah. If we think
but
about it, it's closer to 3.
but yeah, no, Bill Dallas was one of my OG mentors when I was a broker, and he led First Franklin and was a tremendous influence. And Todd Duncan and the event he put together that's legendary, Sales Mastery. Like I don't know where I would be or Mortgage Coach would be without the communities and the mentorship and the leadership. And I wrote a post on LinkedIn and I put it on Facebook a couple days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, but I don't know exactly what day. I have a lot of alarms on my phone to remind me to do things. Some of them are just personal things. I have win by 7 and I have win by noon. So Todd Bookspan. I do that more just to recognize, like, hey, I won the morning, I won the day. But sometime I think I might have done it within days of the announcement that Rocket had purchased Mr. Cooper. I don't think I did it when they bought Redfin, but I really had this. I came into 2025 thinking that this is a pivotal year in mortgage, and mainly that was just how fast AI is going. I'm just like, holy shit! I'm excited and scared at the same time. But I will have to tell you, when I really, within a couple days of seeing Rocket, it's not that that's your biggest threat to local mortgage professionals. But here's the deal. First of all, it is a threat. It's going to eat up a lot of refis, rate and term refis, but it's raising the standard on customers' expectations. And you know who's paying attention? Top producers at every market. In every market, there are local badasses, the people that I interview on our YouTube channel, the people that are going to be at this event. And guys, they're upgrading. Like, everybody is rocket proofing, future proofing their business. By the way, everybody is not. And that was my epiphany that, you know what? 5 to 10% of local referral based mortgage and real estate professionals, the real estate professionals, 5-10%, they're Zillow proof. They're doing what Zillow can do and what Zillow can't do, and they're going to be fine. And 5 to 10% of mortgage professionals, they're rocket proof. But the industry's not. So I created an alarm called Be the Change. Like, that's something that I've always, kind of like self-talk, be the change. That's part of why I still, at age 60, have a YouTube channel and interview loan officers. Is like, I consider myself someone that is driving change in the industry. And when I look at this screen right here, like,
I'm not going to start naming names because I'll leave someone out. But guys, we have a room full of lighthouses. We've got, like just literally everybody here is like, be the change. Todd Bookspan, who I did a walk and talk with yesterday morning, he is obsessed with impact. Todd Duncan, how many decades of change that he's driving, and now we've got a new thing. So my push to everybody is, one, set an alarm right now. Go to your phone, put an alarm. You pick the time. I picked 7:28. I really don't know why I picked 7:28, but I did. And it's 7:28. I get a little alarm. Be the change. And then also, get out there and help promote this event. I mean, the Sales Mastery event, like 2025 is a pivotal year in the mortgage industry. And while there is value in Zoom and there is value in these YouTube channels and the content I create, true transformation happens when we're in person. True transformation happens, what happens at the bar at night. Not too late. Like, don't stay up too late. Don't drink too much. But
that's why it's no longer in Vegas, Dave.
Yeah, right. But heck, it's the friendships that we create, the connections that we have, what happens at the pool, the relationships you have. Like, change happens by getting on a plane, being at a great venue, having a curated experience. No one creates an experience better than Todd Duncan, where like he's very thoughtful and strategic who's on that stage, what order they are in on that stage. You got Don and Gino, like, guys, is it not obvious that they're obsessed with impact and that they are both be the change beacons? So, just my push to this room, guys, we are the change agents of the industry. So let's make sure we get a lot of people at this event coming up. Let's make sure we get the word out. And then, like I said, my ask to everyone is set your alarm, whatever time you want, pop up, be the change. And when you see that, think of this event, think of the room that Don and Gino put together today.
Thank you, buddy. And thanks for your friendship and support and mentorship all these years. It's been life-changing for me, and I love you, man. I appreciate that.
Right now we're going to go over because I'm trying to get everybody on here. So if we can get some quick shots from those that haven't been called on
Well,
yet.
I know Josh has got a split. Any last thoughts? Because Josh has been one of our #1 supporters in Lighthouse. Like, this dude's energy, he's like, you guys got to do this. Like, there's times when we really thought about just, folding when it was tough and COVID and all this. And Josh is like, no, our industry needs this, and I'll do what I can to help, and I'll push it, and I'll kick your butt. And
well, that's why. So exactly what Dave just said. You see this? That's my home. I took Be the Change to a whole new level when I sold everything and bought a sailboat and decided to traverse the globe in it. So to exactly what Dave just said, everybody here, I have so many people from Brian to Todd to Dave, everybody on here has been a mentor at one time in my life. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Everybody can do it. You have to be willing to be the change. You have to be willing to be different. And that's what I've learned from this entire community and from this entire group. And that's what everybody here is going to get when they attend Sales Mastery Momentum Builder this October. I love you guys. So proud of you. And can't wait to be part of this in the future.
Woo-hoo! There's Josh Pitts, the man, the energy, the legend, no doubt. Thank you, Josh. Love you, buddy. Love his power and inspiration. He's helped us a ton. And we were talking about this, that if we just get our friends, our impact friends, to just somehow get at least 10 people on their own, like bring people that they know should be there, we'll sell out. Just 10, 15 people. And I know all of us have a lot more influence than that. So, because we want to impact more. That's why we want to sell out. It's good for everybody on this call. It's good for the sponsors. It's good for everybody. The more people we can impact, the better. So no doubt. So that's why we have Sonia, you are a rock star, by the way. She actually highlighted those that we haven't had a chance to talk to yet and stuff. So Michelle,
whoever has to go by noon, go first.
Yeah, go first.
You know what, team, I'm going to jump in real quick because I do have another call in 2 minutes. But first and foremost, listen, Momentum Builder has been a huge impact for me. In fact, I'll thank Craig Davis actually for initially getting me going on that route, literally from the beginning, and I haven't missed one since. And so, in fact, my back wall here is filled with attendance momentum builder badges, and we're anxious to be there again. Listen, I just want to add for everybody, there's been so many great conversations and points made so far from this group. I'm very much involved in tech and using tech to quickly provide things for our clients. And I'm happy to report that AI is great. Everything's working fantastic. It's a fantastic tool to save time and help put us in front of more people. But our numbers are very, very true in the sense that when a loan officer engaged with a homeowner, the pull through is 50% higher. This should really be pleasing for everyone to understand that your homeowners, your past clients still want to work with you.
Thank God.
Tech does not replace us. It enhances us. And so I love it. Guys, I got to bounce. Again, congratulations.
Love you, Tim.
Obviously,
And
we
thanks
talk all
for
the time.
being a big sponsor for us too. Figure's freaking awesome. We use it every day.
Don never has a problem asking for a check. You know what I mean? Like
it's a win-win.
Anyway, look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Great job.
All right,
everyone.
thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump in. Oh, sorry, Michelle. Same time, right?
It's okay. Go ahead.
I tell you what, I'll be quick. I just want to say that I got in the business in 2011. I'm Christy Solar. I walked in sales mastery in 2012, and it completely changed my life. And I mean that. There is no event like it. And these guys with Momentum Builders, I will tell you, if you want to change your life and change your business, you need to be at this event. And that's what I got to say. Michelle, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Christy, I know I don't know you, but that brings into my beginning statement of I kind of feel like the newbie on the block a little bit, but it's fun for me because I'm sharing the screen with two men that I love here, Brian Covey and Craig, and who I've recently met. And, Dawn and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago that really lit my heart on fire because there's so much that I feel like I'm trying to do right now. And for those of you guys who don't know who I am, I own a social prospecting company. It's a very unique aspect or angle to the social media space because frankly, I think the social media landscape is being taught horribly wrong. And I feel like I am the change in that space and that somebody has to stand up and say that. And so for me, I'm really motivated by being a disruptor because to Dave's point, like we have to be the person that says that this is not the right way to teach it. And so I think for me, I'm just honored to be here. I'm honored to have the opportunity to share screen with people like who I'm standing or figuratively standing here with, but I'm just excited. I look forward to being at Momentum Builder for sure. This is my first year attending, so that by itself is really cool. And I'll leave you guys with this. This is two sayings I've been saying a lot. I've traveled so much in the last few weeks, and I'm really happy to be home right now. But two things on the personal side. Number one, God gives us messages to give us messages, and I truly believe that. And my life and really the mortgage industry as a whole, I feel like is a reflection of that, but it's up to us to choose what is the message. Do we see the message in the mess that we're in? I feel like I've found it for me personally and professionally, and I'm really excited about that. But on the business side, I'll leave you guys with this thought and kind of cap it there, that silence, not sales, is the outcome of indifference. And right now, 97%, I'm making this number up, but I'm probably not far off. People that are using social are creating indifference, and that's the biggest problem. And so I feel like, can we overcome that? And what do we do to overcome that? And that's who I am and what I want to be for this world. So I just am grateful. And thank you, Dawn and Gino, just for giving me the chance to be a part of this.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it.
Of course.
Eric, you're an early supporter of ours as well, man. You and I have known each other for an awfully long time. And every time we've known of each other for a long time, but we really didn't bond until that one day, right? And that speaks to events, is that we were at, I believe we were at Leadership, and we got to spend, I don't know, the whole trip together. Or no, actually, we were at Total Expert. We were at Accelerate. We were at Total Experts Accelerate in San Diego. And we just spent the whole trip together, like two buddies, like attached to the hip, just going everywhere together. And since that day forward, like we've had this bond, and that's what these events are for. These events are so that you meet your next best friend that's going to change your life or be a part of your life in the future. And that I don't know. That's
we talk to Eric all the time now. I mean, he's
Including
one of our
yesterday.
bros. Yesterday we were on the phone strategizing.
Here's what's funny, right? And I was a little behind. I was listening halfway because I was writing down Michelle's her quote, which I thought was a drop the mic statement around people using social or making a difference, and that's the problem. Gosh, I love that. I can't wait to go home and tell my 20-year-old boys that comment, right? Okay, so listening to you guys talk about how we ended up kind of broing it up and now we talk all the time. You know, I spent the first 10 years of my career being that dirty recruiter sitting in a cubicle trying to convince people that they should talk to another company, right? And so a lot of people had great connections with me, but nobody was inviting me to anything because that was the role that I played in this industry. But I got to listen to very successful, highly influential people and learn from them, right? And then there was a day where I was sitting down with the CEO of a mortgage company, and we had built these processes for identifying, engaging, nurturing, and converting opportunities. And this was like in 2013, the CEO makes a comment around, boy, if I could build that into a tech platform, that would create huge value for me. And then that was the spark for what we ended up doing the last several years, right? With Model Match. I only point that out to say that any amount of wins that I've had are because of things that other people have shared with me. I'm just not smart enough to wake up at 2:00 in the morning with the greatest idea on the planet that nobody put a seed in for me. Like somebody planted that seed. Somebody said something. You know, I heard Craig Davis say something, or I heard my buddy Savage say something, or Brian say something, or what Michelle just said. And I write it down, it sticks, and then maybe it gets watered and maybe it turns into something. I also think about this momentum builder, sales mastery coming up. I spoke at an event not that long ago, and there were 4 people in the room that were rookies in the industry that in their first 14 months have closed over 12 million in volume. And these are not high loan amount markets. And how did they do it? They did it because they used their rookie brain and they asked questions. And they learned all of the things that the OGs aren't doing anymore. And they're just taking it from them. Right. And so when I think of coming to this conference, and I'll stop talking. First of all, stop calling it a conference because I hate conferences. And this is not a conference. But one of the things I get most excited about hanging out with you guys is that I get to walk in with my rookie brain. I get to pull people aside and they'll actually share best practices with me. And then I'm not just watching the Rocky movie and getting excited about it. You guys are putting me in the gym. I get to actually start training. And so I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of this, but also really look forward to just simply being a fly on the wall at this event and absorbing and stealing from all of you people that are more than happy
right?
to let me steal from you.
We steal from you on a regular basis. Eric is very humble, but we have a lot of strategy meetings with Eric and about business and how to impact and help others and stuff. So you're a blessing to this industry, and you're a blessing to our think tank, and you're a giver, and we appreciate that, Eric. Thank you, buddy.
And so talking about Rocky and training and all that, Brian, dude,
you knew we're going to you, Brian.
Man, I just sit back. These are like all my friends. I'm so excited. Sorry that I was late, but I'm reminiscing as you're sharing that. Literally, Eric, we had a call a minute ago, and one of my mentors was sharing day one mindset. Day one. You think about the excitement you had, you're learning something new and all that. And I think for people that are coming to this, I can't wait to bring some friends. I've been telling people about is like, you need to get in the room. This is where I know my life's been changed. And I go back as a rookie LO, 2001, 2002, all those years. Todd Duncan CDs were the only thing I had access to outside of like Tony Robbins books and cassettes. Like I date myself a little, but it's literally like that's where it started, and it's full circle moments where like now we're all friends, and then I get to work with Michelle, and then Craig and I are jamming on some leadership stuff. And I think our industry, a lot of times we undervalue and we in a way, appreciate the amount of talent that is actually not just in this room, but the people that can come in. You're talking about rookies. I've had literally 3, maybe 4 conversations with people under 35 that are producing 75, 100 million. And the things they're sharing with me, I'm like, I want to learn from you, and I'll share my 20 plus years, right? Like there's collaborations that we can breed together that'll, I think, pull our industry forward, right? In a way that consumers want. We're seeing that with the tech forward piece. We're seeing that with real estate financial planners, all this change. We have enough experience. If you actually take some of the rookies, the day one mindset, you take some of us that have been around the block a few times and seen enough of the cycle. I'm excited about this because I think this is an opportunity for everybody to reset and realize God's already uniquely given you some gifts, but there's a skill set for many of us that we need to fill and we need to learn. And there are people in that room that can teach you that. So if you're willing to learn and have that day one mindset, I think we're going to see some massive changes in a good way. And I kind of feel I'm in the in between of that guy that's been here a while, but I still, with my daughter graduating high school, like I'm still kind of, hanging out with the younger people to learn, right? But I still have mentors and people that some have retired, some are still in the game. Our
Some are
industry's
just
going
old
through.
like me.
Dude, it's not old. It's wise. I'll tell you, I left a call
Wise.
last
There
night,
you go.
Don.
Veteran.
And it went back to an old book, Think and Grow Rich.
Oh.
And my big takeaway, I'll leave it this. Most people don't finish books. They just start them. They talk about them. And the last chapter in Think and Grow Rich talks about the 6 fears that everyone has. If you haven't read it, I would encourage you, go look at that. And I started to think about, what are the fears holding me back today? And we all have them, like I have them. And what's that fear that's holding you back from that next level of success? And I would even challenge you this. What's holding you back from that next level of impact? And it's you. It's you. And so get in the room, get around people that get you to think bigger, dream bigger, and then you get equipped with the right tools and skill sets and mindset. And I think sky's the limit. So I can't wait. I'm fired up. Can't get here soon enough. And I think people are in for a real treat because the timing couldn't be better. We're coming out of, hopefully by that point, this has been a longer cycle than we all thought. It's time.
I agree. Thank you, Brian. Dude, you're an inspiration in so many different ways. So we're trying to close this out. Thank you, Brian. You can stick around if you like. I have to say hi to Jimmy. Jimmy's been very quiet, which is very rare for that young man because he runs his own podcast. He does all the interviews at our events. Like he literally interviews every single speaker, any person he can grab. He's been part of our process of growth and inspiration. And Jimmy, I can't believe you've been so quiet, but wanted to say hi to you, buddy, and thank you for your passion behind Momentum Builder and Sales Mastery, buddy.
Yeah, I've just been, just kind of like you, I've been taking it all in. I don't know what else I could add to what everybody else has just said. I mean, it's quite incredible what this group of people is, capable of. I'm just honored to be a part of this group. We're all a bunch of winners here. And it's just like, you are who you hang out with. And I feel lifted up by everybody that's on this call. And, I always take notes when Todd Duncan's, talking as well. And I think that now's the time. Now's the time for it to come together. And I'm pumped for this event. I think it's going to be off the charts. I love the venue. I love everything about it. I'm happy to be a part of it.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate you, buddy, and love your energy and love your friendship. All right. We're going to close out. Just so you guys know, we're going to close out. We're going to close out with a quick comment from Nate, and we're going to let Craig close this out.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yo, I had a meeting for the first hour. I had to jump on here just to say hi to you guys. Momentum Builder is so cool. It's been such a positive influence on my life. Yeah, second Jimmy's sentiments of like sitting in the room with you guys, it makes me feel, so powerful. It feels like we're limitless. We can accomplish anything. You guys always bring such a good balance of tactical along with inspiration, along with community, like the trifecta of tactical, inspiration, community. So cool. Thank you for keeping this going. I'm thrilled to see this continue to grow, continue to get to the next level. Yeah, y'all are the best. Thank you for putting this on. And I'm so thrilled to sit in the room with you guys today. It makes me feel limitless. So thanks for bringing me on here.
Beautiful. And I'm going to steal the trifecta, by the way: tactical, inspirational, and community. Nice.
That's the marketing for you. I'm the marketer on the call.
You are. That's why I'm stealing it from you, buddy. All right, Craig, bring us home.
All right. Everybody's still listening.
We share one brain.
Yeah. Everyone's still watching, still listening. All right. Stop what you're doing for a second. Pay attention. Pay attention. There's 3 fundamental truths. Shift happens, opportunities change, and success is a choice. And Don and Gino and Todd and everybody on here, and it's Sonia, thank you for the shirt. You have that choice. Either shift's going to happen or you're going to make shift happen. And this community that you guys have created and been a part of and will continue to drive, that is the community that is going to make shift happen. So I am really fucking proud to be a part of this. And I'm proud to help lead strategy as part of this and get to know everybody here. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in Dallas, if not sooner. And Eric, when are we hanging out? So
I love it. Eric, Bill Dallas, a bunch of people are like,
Yeah.
how come I'm not at Tahoe?
Hey,
So we're going to have to
Tahoe
evidently,
business retreat anytime.
I think we're going to
I'll
have
make
to
the
do
phone
it.
call.
And we're going to
Hey,
be
my,
putting
my,
those
my,
together.
my email hasn't changed, Craig. You know where to find me, buddy. If I see that invite, I'm coming.
All
Tahoe
right.
in the
It's in your
mountains,
inbox.
Tahoe
Yeah.
in the mountains, Cabo on the beach.
That's right.
There you go. I think those will be two of our mastermind meetings and stuff. And I bet you we won't have problems filling those. So I guess in closing out, we're going to go ahead and pop up the screen real quick. If anybody doesn't have the info to sign up, it's going to sell out. We have a special discount code for you. But those of our friends that are on here, thank you for helping us spread the word. It's getting about that time. We've been kind of patiently waiting because most won't take action too early. It's just noise. So we're getting real close to where you'll see the push. You'll start